When Vera Tarman moved into her house in the Church-Wellesley neighbourhood more than 2 decades ago, she loved that she lived right next to a park. Now she rarely steps foot in it.
The excitement has worn off because now I don't appreciate the park anymore. I see it more as, especially in the summertime when I should be enjoying the park, it's like, oh, what's going to happen?
She says excessive noise, incidents of violence, theft, and open drug dealing make the space feel unsafe, with those activities often spilling onto her own street. Barbara Hall Park shares an address with the 519 Community Centre. Data from Toronto Police obtained by a Toronto resident through a Freedom of Information request shows cops are called to this address on a near daily basis. From January 2019 to April of this year, there were more than 1,800 calls for service to Toronto Police. The calls reached a peak in 2020. Last year had the second most. The most common call type was for medical complaints. In 2023, 73 calls were Priority 1. That's when there's a danger to life, like a person with a gun.
I know that living in downtown Toronto, you kind of sign up for some of this, but the park really draws this, and as a result, I mean, I love this park, but I'm willing to say let's close the park down just because of that.
Staff at the 519 say issues at this address aren't unique.
The world shows up at our doorstep. The issues that our neighborhood is facing, that the broader downtown is facing, that Toronto as a whole are facing, show up at our programs, at our services, and our doorstep every day. We respond to those needs as they arise. We don't create them.
The city says it is engaged in addressing issues at the park. A spokesperson told us that crews are on site twice a day picking up needles and other harm reduction supplies, and that a de-escalation and crisis intervention team, as well as security staff, also visit the park daily. The city is also working on plans to revitalize the park, with the community engagement stage set to wrap up next year, though not everyone in the neighborhood is on board with that plan.
I think there needs to be support for the community that's currently using the park, the unhoused and drug users. There needs to be supports there, because just redoing the park isn't going to help solve the issue. So you're throwing money at a problem that's not really a problem.
Those calls for more funding for healthcare and social services echoed by staff at the 519 and the local city councillor. Sarah MacMillan, CBC News, Toronto.